I'm back, as what's his face said as he goes into the alien spaceship on Independence Day. It's been 2 long weeks. I am back. It is Thursday night. Your regular shot of NFL action on the Third and Long podcast. Hello, gentlemen. It is lovely to see your wonderful three faces again. There's four of us in total. How are we all, and how's you lot been going on?
This time next week, boys, football will be so close to being back. But first, Mr. Butler Henderson, how was your holiday?
Hot. That's the best way to put it. Hot. You were looking at like literally 35-degree heat pretty much most days, mate. It's lush. Absolutely brilliant, mate. I mean, I kept up, listened to the show, got a few things about Zeke's one, but we'll get to that later on. But yeah, it's wonderful. I've said Shane, Phil, your blindside like story and how you talked about it was spot on, mate. It was chef's kiss, mate. It was really, really good.
What can I say? What can I say? When I'm interested in something, I give 100%. So and it's just something that I felt very, very passionate about because I was at a point where I love the film a lot, and obviously time has changed things, and I stand by what I said. I think I think the whole thing was him trying to get back control of his own narrative that I think he's been left in the cooks for a long period of time, and he's also promoting his autobiography as well. So but it's great to have you back, Butters.
Oh, I'm good to be back. How was your two meet up? Was it cozy?
Shane.
I have no idea.
It was amazing.
Sesame Daddy Parents.
It was amazing.
Oh, so, what a great day. What a great day that was.
So, I mean,
can we just go back to that quote, which was Sesame Daddy Parents?
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
we can.
Right. So you need to understand the context of this, right? So one of our favorite tag teams is a tag team called The Acclaimed, and they used to be like bad guys because they'd come down to the ring and they'd rap, but because they were so funny when they come back and rap against their opponents, they've become good guys. Now the whole thing about Sesame Daddy, right? And it's got nothing. Well, it's a little bit of sexual tone as well, but the whole thing is like when you do rock paper scissors. And you either do like you both like when you draw, you go like rock, you do paper, or you do scissors, and them scissoring is their way of saying that they're both equal, that they can't beat each other, that they're on the exact same level. So obviously you've got like the sexual connotations that come with like, so Sesame Daddy, and like it's very sexualized. But me and Shano literally just going Shano Sesame. It's to say that we're brothers, that we're on the same page. But can I just say this? Shane texted me like where the pub that he was at, and I had to get like a couple of tube stops to get to him. And it was just such an amazing experience because like you're in a pub and you guys were the only ones in there for a while, weren't you? Like you've been sitting there drinking, and it's just after like 11 o'clock, and I come bursting in, and it was just like almost like an 80s romantic comedy moment where like I walk in, my hair's all fluffled, you sit down, you notice me, you get up, and we just embrace. We give each other such the manliest embrace going. And it was amazing. Like, honestly, I could have picked him up. Like, the thing is, right, that you said this is why you go, oh, you're bigger in real life. And I went, yeah, I told you I'm like 6 foot. And it was just kind of like, honestly, it was that and watching, like, obviously the whole wrestling thing, like all the time that we spent together in the morning was one of my highlights of the whole weekend, and I'd done quite a lot of things that weekend, so it was amazing.
100%. But I totally agree with you. You were worth every penny of that £6.45 pint I bought you.
hey! I offered to pay, and like both.
Oh, don't be daft. You're the next one.
You were well, I go, but you bought the food because I ordered like a kilogram of chicken wings, like to eat. So I was like, guys, there's no way that I'm forking out like a ridiculous amount of money for food at Wembley Stadium. Let's have some food now. So we forced some food down us, but like it was just I ordered like I think it was like £16 for like a kilogram of chicken wings, and we just literally just put those away. And I did break that mold because when I got into Wembley, Shane, I had a Diet Coke and just a hot dog. Not a hot dog meal, not with come with chips, just a regular size hot dog, £13.50. And the poor teenage lad that was behind the bar looked like he was embarrassed when he told me how much it was. Like he full on looked me in the eye and he was going, I'm really sorry, but it says £13.50 on the till. And I went, I understand. I'm not happy. But I understand.
I managed to. I had 3 pints in Wembley. I only paid for one, mind. That's not the point. It was for a can. in a plastic cup, a can of Budweiser in a plastic cup, £7.85. How they sleep at night is anyone's business.
Yeah, well, it's landing prices. You know what I'm saying?
Landon, mate.
Me and Ollie will be
Other than that, it was
experiencing.
brilliant. And we'll be doing it all again now. Well, October.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Are you guys coming to the Wembley game, or is it just the Spurs game you guys are coming to?
Just a Spurs game I'm going to,
It's a
but
Spurs game. Yeah, sorry guys.
Shall we actually talk about some NFL stuff?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. Yeah, let's do
Shane,
that.
should we let these guys to our left talk about something? Because I know they're going to be crying.
Wrong way. You voted the wrong way.
Yeah, do you know the difference between me and Shane yet?
I make this
Shane
look good.
Shane hasn't got hair,
So,
and you've got a wig.
It's true. I didn't notice that his hair was upside down on Sunday.
Phil, do you want to take the first crack at this one?
Yes, I will. Last week before we found out that he was going to the Cowboys, I was vexed. Like I was properly angry, because of if I can separate the fact that Trey Lance is a person, Trey Lance is just not an object, and he's a human with human emotions and all that kind of stuff that comes with being a normal person and a sportsman. I was just angry with the fact that the 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks to move up and draft Trey Lance, only to then give him 4 starts and then go, you know what, we're good to go. And then they fobbed him off. The 49ers, Ollie, gave Alex Smith 5 years to see whether or not he was good enough. They gave him 5 years, and Alex Smith was not great for the 49ers until Harbaugh comes along and goes, oh, you're not that bad, but however, Kaepernick's going to beat you for the job. I've come to this conclusion now that Shanahan is not a quarterback whisperer. He has a great football mind, and he's undoubtedly a great football mind, but he is not a coach. He is not a man manager. And Kyle Shanahan is not great with, think of it almost like preparing chicken or preparing food, right? And this is like the perfect metaphor. Kyle Shanahan does not like to put effort into players. He likes players that are ready to good and go.
Baker Mayfield.
So that's why he loved. Well, that's why he loves like George Kittle. George Kittle, 3rd rounder, boom, he's ready to go. That's why I think he's in love with Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy did not need to be nurtured. Brock Purdy was just plugged in, and oh my good God, he went away. Trey Lance, I don't think he realized how much he would have to change his offensive system to fit him in. Because that's why I think Sam Darnold and also Brandon Allen's got the job, because those 3 quarterbacks, Shanahan wouldn't have to change his offensive system that much, because we also have to think about the scheme, because last year I think he had like an offensive scheme that was tailored to just Trey Lance. And then obviously Trey Lance went down and he had to go back to the Jimmy Garoppolo kind of system, and then he went down and then Brock Purdy went in, and using the same playbook that Jimmy Garoppolo used, Brock Purdy just took us straight to the NFC Championship game. So I'm happy that Trey's in a position that he can look to flourish, but he's not even going to be 2nd string quarterback in Dallas. He's going to be there to be developed for the next 3 years. He's not even going to be a threat to Dak's job.
Here's my opinion for what's going to happen in Dallas, in my opinion. If Dak goes down, I think Cooper Rush will go into the game. However, if Dak's out for a period of time and they have a week to prepare, I think that's when Trey Lance will start.
I think Trey Lance will only start if the Cowboys aren't going to make the playoffs. Like if the Cowboys have a tanking season and Dak goes down injured long term and they're losing, they've got a losing record, that's when I think Trey Lance will be thrown in, as if to say the season's a write-off. Let's see what we've actually got with Trey Lance. But I don't think he's going to get any game time, because I'm begrudgingly going to say this, but like the Dallas Cowboys are just like the 49ers. They are a Super Bowl loaded team. Whether you're going to expect them to get to the NFC Championship or the divisional round. They're not like the Cardinals or the Rams or those teams that are rebuild mode now, where they're going to let's give 2 years to Trey Lance. No, San Francisco and Dallas we're going to go for the Super Bowl now. And I don't think...
Rumor has it that nine teams were interested in Trey Lance.
But it was only the Cowboys that offered him the highest, which was the 4th. There was no other team that offered him higher than a 4th.
Apparently, alongside that, Trey thought that Dallas was the best place for him.
Probably, because he would get time, and Dallas have their own problems. Like I think the bridge has been burned in San Francisco. The thing with Trey Lance going into this offseason wasn't going to be, it's a fight between Brock Purdy and Trey Lance to see who's QB1. No, the fight was going to be who's going to be QB2, Sam Darnold or Trey Lance. That's literally it. And I think when he lost that space to be, the third string, or heaven forbid, he might have been cut, or they would have actively looked to, I mean, they did trade him in the end, but I just wish him all the best. It hasn't worked out well. I'm angry that Kyle Shanahan post this has seemed quite flippant, like he doesn't care, like it's not that big of a deal that we've given up 3 years worth of first round picks for a player that we've just thrown away to our biggest enemies. That's what I'm more annoyed at, because I still think it's win now mode for Kyle Shanahan. I really do. He needs to win this year.
So I have a theory of what happened. I don't think I said this last week, but I might have done. So Sam Darnold and Trey Lance have the same agents.
Yes.
And about 3 days before it was announced that Lance was QB3, Shanahan literally got asked who is QB2 and who is QB3. And Shanahan was like, well, sometimes it's going to be Darnold, sometimes it's going to be Lance. It depends. And I reckon after that agent called him and said, you need to pick a quarterback and trade the other one.
Yeah.
So Shanahan went, okay, I picked Darnold.
Yeah.
I can categorically agree. Confirm you did not say this last week.
Okay. I think I said it to Phil, but I might not have said it on air.
I think you messaged me like off air, or we were talking about off air. Either way, it's a massively wasted opportunity with Trey Lance, and he'll fall into the category of what ifs or what nevers, because I don't even think in Dallas, unless Dak literally has a career-ending injury or a long-term seasonal injury, I don't think he's going to get any game time. And I don't want to compare him to like Steve Young and Joe Montana, but it was only because Joe Montana went missing for nearly 2 seasons with a back injury that Steve Young became the starter.
But the other thing I think we need to look at is why John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan decided to draft a project quarterback and then lose patience with the project quarterback when they knew it was going to be a project.
I think the breaking point was last season. Trey Lance was going to be QB1. Like the whole off season, he was going to be QB1. Jimmy's gone. QB1, Jimmy's gone, and he started those first 2 games. And I think him going down injured went, oh crap, we've lost another quarterback to injury, and then the panic of, oh, our season's not over because Brock's come in. Brock's killing. I mean, let's not forget. Brock Purdy was amazing. Now, you can argue that CMC, Kittle, Ayuk, Jennings, Debo, he's got Trent Williams, backing him up. But
would Brock
Purdy was amazing.
Would Brock could have been as good in, say, a Texans offense? No.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, he's just a system quarterback. Who cares? He's good in this
Tom
system.
Exactly.
And that's the system he's playing in. So I don't care how good he plays.
I 100% agree with you. I just think the turning point was Trey's gone down injured again in his second year. Brock's come in and Brock's took. I mean, so it wasn't just like some games where, the talent around him. There were games where Brock Purdy won it because he was exceptional. Like that game against Tampa Bay when he destroyed that Tampa. It was a good temper team. That's the thing. And when we beat the Raiders and then we beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, this was a really good Brock Purdy showing. Yeah. You could argue that his only wobble was maybe the Seattle game in the playoffs. But
the game I always reference is the game at CenturyLink Field where he had that play where he faked right, turned, faked left, and then hit Kittle down the field for a touchdown. Yeah. This was his first away game at CenturyLink Field, and he was playing like a vet.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Trey. I really do. I think now that I've realized Kyle doesn't like projects, Kyle likes players he can plug and play directly into his system, because I think that's why the 49ers draft so well between rounds 3 to 7, because you think like in those first 2 rounds you're gonna get your best athletes. The players that drop to you in rounds 3 and onwards are the ones that aren't your best athletes, but they have the best work ethic. Like they know how, or they
Agreed.
because they're not naturally athletic in that traditional Debo kind of sense, or those those insane like Jalen Hurts kind of sense. So they have to rely on their football mind, and I think Shanahan likes players that are already good to go, that have that football mind, that he doesn't have to spend too much time nurturing, and that's why we see successes in players like George Kittle. Okay, that's where we see successes in like Fred Warner, Brock Purdy recently, and I just don't think Trey Lance got a fair shake for a fair shake of it, but I think. I just think Kyle Shanahan going forward, we have to lower our expectations with what we think he can do with quarterbacks.
Just out of interest, have you seen what John Lynch said about who really wanted to draft Brock Purdy?
No.
So
Was it?
the two-
Was it? Oh no, go on. Who?
So the first person said was Brian Greasy,
Yeah.
the quarterback coach, and the other person he talked to was the head coach of Iowa.
Yeah.
And apparently he said that Brock Purdy changed his program.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I've always been led to believe as well that the reason why Kyle was so high on Lance initially is because his dad, Shanahan Sr., had been following him in college and said this is a really good player to mold and develop. And I think that's what I've always been told about Lance going into this. It was actually, Mike Shanahan, Super Bowl winning head coach and offensive playmaker genius with the 49ers for years. I mean, he also, he drafted RG3, but then he also drafted Kirk Cousins. And you can kind of see Kyle likes the Kirk Cousins kind of players, whilst his dad always liked those scrambling dynamic players. That's why Mike Shanahan got so much out of Steve Young, because Steve Young credits Mike Shanahan for being the best, offensive mind that he worked with in the 49ers, because he brought out the best of him in that 93, 94, 95 season. But yeah, I think it's been done to death. I think we need to move on.
I was saying we could talk about this all day, but we do need to move on.
I don't want to talk about the Niner
very
cast.
quickly. Let's get some non-49er views on it. Shano, what's your view on Trey?
To be honest with you, I think I'm the wrong person to talk to. I think the boys have pretty much hit it on the head. The fact that they give up a lot to move up for Trey. And as I've said previously, and I'll say it again, no one is guaranteed success in the NFL. Some make it, some don't. And I think this case, it's a case of Trey Lance, maybe he's not good enough. Maybe, and the fact that the 49ers organization as a whole just run out of patience. Everyone's got this "we want to win now" mentality. Yeah. What have you done for me lately type thing?
Yeah.
They didn't get a lot for Trey, but then, let's hope he goes to the Cowboys and has a fresh start. And there's going to be less pressure on him because he doesn't come with that massive price tag anymore. So, we'll see. I wish him all the best in Dallas.
So I saw a bit of Good Morning Football this morning when Ryan Leaf was on. And there's a phrase that players themselves don't like using. And we, as pundits, fans, anyone who's not in an organization, likes to use, and it rhymes with dust. Players do not like that word bust.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to.
Because they don't know what goes in. We don't know what's happened behind closed doors. We don't know that, as far as we know, that Trey Lance could be one of the last people in, one of the first people out, doesn't read playbooks, doesn't go through film. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So there's obviously something that they've seen. Yes, he's had a horrible injury last season.
3 horrible injuries that really put him off his game, if we're being honest.
Last season wiped him out. But let's not forget, he had 6 starts at North Dakota State pre-COVID year. He didn't play pre-COVID year or COVID year. Then he was drafted, so he had next to no starting football. So he had very little tape to go on. And I think San Francisco took too much of a gamble on a guy who's had, yes, he had a very good pro day. Yes, he had a very good combine. Yes, he is incredibly talented arm arm guy, but I think he was too raw to give away 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And I think they were just scared of him going somewhere like Buffalo or another team, not perfectly Buffalo, say New England, who are all just need that next player to go bang. There you go. That's the next dynasty. They don't want to have another team that could have another Mahomes and people like that.
Yeah. I think
That's
in
what I think it
hindsight,
is.
I think in hindsight, if he could go back, he probably would have took a Mac or Justin Fields. If he's going to go for like a Trey Lance type play, he probably would have took Justin Fields. Because I am quite high on Justin Fields, but like how I think Brock Purdy's turned out, I think he'd go for someone like Mac. Because he could have gone for either. I mean, that was the whole thing, wasn't it? Are they going to take like Lawrence and Wilson are going to go 1 and 2? Who are the 49ers going to take? And there was like almost felt like a month of it's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mac Jones. It was never going to be Mac Jones.
Mac was always landing in New England.
Yeah.
So there's obviously been a little bit of extra bit. Josh Jacobs is staying in Las Vegas.
I think he is the first person ever to hold out and get a raise that he wasn't expecting, if you know what I mean. Because like Bosa is holding out and he will get a raise, but this is like a $2 million raise from the franchise tag that he refused to sign. Saquon didn't get anything apart from incentives. This guy's got a guaranteed $2 million raise.
And Saquon's incentives are literally ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's going to have a record-breaking receiving season. He's going to have a record-breaking rushing season. He's going to have the most touchdowns he's ever had in a career since his rookie year. It's ridiculous in that one. Fair play to Josh. I think he is, he's going to be a win or loser later, one of that, fair play to him. And it's probably going to be Jimmy starts under center. But fair play to Las Vegas. They've struck it. Yes, it's a 1-year deal. Gives them time to go, right, okay, we've got a whole year to talk about this now. Let's give it time and get something silly done. I think that's it. JT, Justin, no, what am I about? Taylor, Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
I was going to say Justin Tucker then.
Can I say something? Can I say something about this?
Go for it.
The Colts, I can't remember who they said that they don't think Anthony Richardson is going to be stunted by the Jonathan Taylor. Anthony Richardson's growth is going to be stopped by the Jonathan Taylor drama. And then what they said was, well, Andrew Luck wasn't. We didn't have a specialist back then. I was like, yeah, but Andrew Luck was like a generational talent that retired like 5 years too early because his body took so much.
He was a generational talent because, like Peyton Manning before him, they didn't invest in any protection, and he was beaten out of the league. Like it wasn't like Peyton broke his neck. Like Peyton Manning's career was over. He had an operation where they literally had to separate his neck and had to be fused back on again. And then even after then, it was touch and go whether or not he'd even walk again, let alone even play again. And then 3 years later, 2 or 3 years later, he wins his Super Bowl and retires. So the Colts have wasted multiple generational talents, Ollie, like you said, because they haven't looked after them properly.
But I just thought how they're like, well, look at Andrew Luck. I'm like, yeah, but Andrew Luck was probably better and more ready than Anthony Richardson. Yeah. B, he probably retired 5-6 years earlier than he probably should have done because he got hit so much. So you can't really point to Andrew Luck and say, well, we didn't have a specialist running back, so it's going to be fine.
See, this is my thing about when you say not a specialist running back. Evan Hall in preseason for Indianapolis Colts really caught my eye. I thought this guy was absolutely brilliant. Especially, I was watching it on the way home from cars. He was brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. And I've seen quite a lot of highlights of him through the, of preseason. He was really good. They have Jonathan Taylor holds on, doesn't come back this season. In Evan Hall, they've got Jonathan Taylor 2.0, if not better. He can receive, he can catch the ball, he can run, he goes through, he can hit hard as well, and he can block. They have a very good, capable running back.
Can we just remember this is preseason?
Exactly. Yes, it's preseason, but what he's put on tape is very, very good. And he's played against starters. The last preseason, he was a starter alongside Anthony Richardson. So they do have a very capable running back in Evan Hall.
Well, I'm excited to watch him now. He'd not come up on my radar, but I will keep an eye out for him week 1.
Shano.
Because, JT ain't playing, so.
Shano.
I was going to say that Jim Irsay is an idiot. Why won't you pay one of your most dynamic offensive weapons? He had one bad season. We all have one bad, time from time to time. It happens to the best of us, right? He is probably next to Michael Pittman the best player on that offense, but he's not paying him. Is it true that I hear he's chucking money at some dolphin or something, Jim Irsay?
I don't know about that. That sounds amazing.
I see that somewhere. He's chucking money at some SeaWorld redevelopment or something like that. Yet he can't pay Jonathan Taylor. Make it make sense.
Is it for a
good
cause?
Make it make sense.
It's not like a snowflake in Ace Ventura. Like it is for a better cause.
Exactly. Honest to God. And he sat there with his cowboy boots on and his acoustic guitar and his bloody cowboy hat. Come on, for God's sake, sign your best player to a deal for the sake of the city. When we are finished with this issue, I do have a question for you three gentlemen, something that we haven't touched on at all.
Did you hear a little bit of a rumor that Indianapolis went to Miami saying we'll swap you Waddle for JT?
Yes. I heard they wanted Waddle involved in the package. So for me that means they wanted Waddle and something else.
Sorry, but Waddle has done it consistently for 2 seasons with a shocking quarterback. With a quarterback who shouldn't have played last season.
Not a shocking quarterback, but Waddle is a more dynamic player than Jonathan Taylor, and has proved it over more time, and did not have second season syndrome like Taylor.
Taylor had injuries. Last season he played 14 games, I think it was. I think he missed 3 games for injury. Dolphins O-line against Indianapolis O-line. How many times last year did Matt Ryan get hit? Sam Ellinger get hit? Whoever the other quarterback was at the top of my head, I can't remember, got hit. Indianapolis do not. They invest. They go, let's get these quarterbacks. Oh, Andrew Luck, nice and shiny. Oh, and Rivers, all this.
And then
it's these big 5 men, these big 5 men that weigh about 300 pounds. These are what you need to be investing in to investigate the guy, your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, can someone tell the 49ers that too, please?
If you do not get the best O-line available at that time, and none of these Quentin Nelson maybe is a Pro Bowler.
I was about to say, does Quentin Nelson actually still play?
Yeah. They've only got 1 left guard on the box. There is no decent, what you would say is a Pro Bowl ready lineman on that Indianapolis Colts team. That's their issue. You can have average wide receivers, with probably WR2s, WFOs, but if you don't have a decent O-line to give your quarterback time to throw the ball, to protect your quarterback, you're never going to get anywhere.
I just want to use the Patriots as an example. There were quite a lot of times where you guys didn't really have a WR1 and you still won Super Bowls.
Yep.
You had the right system and the right person to execute the system.
Exactly. People always go on about how Belichick's, doesn't pick players that he should be playing, blah, 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 blah. He picks players that fit what he wants, what he sees in his team. Yes, swings and misses quite a bit. Khalil Harry is one of them. But how often does he get 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounders spot on? Anyway, rant over. Shayna, you said you want something to ask.
Yes. The Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon is keeping his cards low, close to his chest at the moment, and his exact words were, "I won't name a starter because I think it's a competitive advantage for us going to Washington." Do you think it's wise that he hasn't named a starting quarterback, considering the season is a little over a week away. Don't get me wrong. We all know who it's going to be, but he's not sort of, laying it out there.
No,
What do you sort of think? It's a bold strategy, gentlemen. Do you think it's going to pay off?
Two things. Number one, I don't know who's going to start at Arizona.
Kyler's not
Okay.
there yet.
Kyler's injured, so it's either Clayton Tune or Josh Downs. And I think, do you think they've not named a starter within the team?
Yeah.
Because I reckon they probably named a starter within the team. They're just making sure it doesn't get out to the media.
Yeah.
The team knows, the captains will be known.
Yeah.
They know.
I do see the competitive advantage, but because I really hope Clayton Tune starts, because it would be a story and a half, a 6th-round quarterback starting.
I think it's going to be Josh Downs. From what the reports I've read, that he's taken not Josh Downs, because
I mean we'll get to this in the next segment, but I understand where Gannon's coming from.
Yeah, I agree with Ollie. Personally, I think the team know. Reports is that it is JD that's taking the snaps with the firsts. Kyler Murray is there or thereabouts. It's Kyler Murray, from what I've heard, is actually playing a team game and talking with him.
Kyler Murray will never play another snap for the Cardinals.
So, who thinks Cardinals are tanking for Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I think there's two teams that are going to be tank bowls this year.
I have a question regarding that.
Yep.
What's a Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams is the QB of USC that won the Heisman last year. But
okay.
The big thing about tanking for Caleb Williams is he doesn't have to go into the draft this year. If he doesn't like where he might go, he could wait another year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that the NFL, players in college sometimes overlook when they're that desperate. They go, well, I'm going to enter the draft now because I want to become a pro now. And you have to wait for the right system. Let's not go back to like the whole Johnny Manziel. Hell, let's not go into talking about Trey Lance. Like, just because you declare yourself and you want to go into the league this year doesn't mean it's the right time for your development, both in terms of like the college leagues, but also in the pro leagues as well. So I agree with you guys there. I think who's to say that he wants to go in the draft this year? He might want to wait. And then wait to see in 2025 where there's going to be other teams that I don't think the Rams. Does the Rams have a first rounder this year coming or next year?
The Rams will be looking at a quarterback if Stenson Benson doesn't take over from.
I think the Rams are going to be out for a quarterback. I think the Broncos are going to be looking for a quarterback. There's going to be a couple of teams in a couple of years' time.
The NFC will be looking for a quarterback. Kirk Cousins will be out of a contract in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Dak will be out of contract in Dallas. Kyler Murray will have a year or maybe two left on his contract.
Yeah. Gino?
No, Gino's just signed a 4-year deal.
Yeah, but who's to say that he doesn't get traded or dropped or moved on?
There is, I reckon Miami will be going in for a quarterback. I really do. I think this is Tua's last dance.
You bash on Tua so much.
I can't believe it, man. Like what you.
This is Tua's. Am I right or am I wrong? This is Tua's last chance. He's got the keys to the Ferrari now. We'll take out last season. Let's take out last season. Rookie season wasn't the best. Yes, rookie season. Second season, he was battered. He shouldn't have played. He should not have played majority of that season. He had 2, maybe even 3 concussions in 7 weeks. They just gone, right, you're done. Sit down. Let's forget you this season. Get you fit, get you back. But you didn't. Yes, he looks a bit bigger. Yes, he looks bulked up. It's either going to be him, Mike McDaniels, or the GM that goes in Miami. Because it's one of them has to give, and I think it's probably going to be Tua, because I believe, Ollie, you said head coaches should be given 3 seasons.
Yeah, but is this not Mike McDaniel's third? No, it's a second.
Yeah.
I didn't say they should be. I said they're usually given.
Yeah.
But I think Tua's going to have a good season.
Unless we'll see.
All these potential quarterback landing spots may mean there may be a starting job in the future for Minshew Mania, brother. What do you reckon, Phil?
Not going to happen.
Yeah, it is, brother.
It's just not going to
While we're talking about Tashes, can we talk about Kirk Cousins' handlebar moustache?
Yes.
Shall we roll on to preseason?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Shane. Yeah. What is that moustache that is Kirk Cousins wearing? I've seen photos of it. How has his wife let him keep that? Because we've seen that she dresses him. Literally, she has admitted, and he's admitted.
It might be his own. It might be the only independence he's allowed in the Cousins household, because it looks like she controls the rest of his life, but does she control the facial hair? Because he might have not been going on to manscaped.com, which, by the way, manscaped.com, if you are listening, we can absolutely be sponsored by your product if you'd like.
Oh yeah.
You'd be surprised how cheap
Send us
it
some
would
free
be.
stuff. Give us all the
Yeah, but your hair's upside down, mate. You just need to have a filter just to turn your hair. Do you want a bit of mine? Mine's so thick. I
got plenty. God knows.
I was gonna say, I have to use 2 combs to comb my hair. It's that thick.
Yeah, one for your head and one for your chest.
Look, I've got a hairy chest as well.
Oh, no.
Fantastic.
Oh, sorry,
Boys, my personal standpoint on the Kirk Cousins facial hair issue, perhaps he is I say secret fan, maybe not so secret fan of the one and only Terry Bollea, brother.
Oh, yes. To be fair, he would have grown up in the late 80s to the 90s, where Hulk Hogan was running wild in WCW. All he needs now is just like the black 5 o'clock shadow, Shano, like to be like proper Hollywood. Maybe he might even go full on heel and demand a trade to Green Bay and just be heel Cousins, brother. He'll just drop the leg on JJ. Like, just as he's leaving, he'll just drop the leg.
Okay. Yeah, week 3, you saw majority of the starters come out. There is something I do want to show, because I think this is absolutely brilliant. This is showing pretty much the new Aaron Rodgers, I think.
Yay!
Let's play that. And just go
bootleg out to the left, flipping it left. McCall Hardman. Bro, that. Show some respect, bro. Come on, what the f is that? 5 damn steps? I don't even know who you are, bro. I don't know who you are. You don't? I never heard of you. Let's go. And the officials having separate Jihad Ward and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
wait a second. That's not Aaron Rodgers. That's CM Punk going at Jack Perry at AEW, because there's no way. It's CM Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers, I just love this. When we come on to like our losers and winners of preseason, I love this new Aaron Rodgers. I'm in love with this Aaron Rodgers. I might even get an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
It's the most animated I've seen Rodgers for years, probably since Love was drafted.
Honestly, it's amazing. I just love CM Punk. I just love CM Rodgers. Like,
it's the fact that he's like, oh yeah, I don't even know you are. Yeah, I don't know you are. Yeah, bullshit.
Which is
who I am. It's like, yeah, whatever.
I cannot stress this enough. Right, I'm just going to use like a bit of a teacher metaphor here. Sports Day this year, there was a sport and altercation, and the group that I was cheering on lost to a form that I really didn't like. Like, I hated them. Like, I don't say I hate kids that often, but I hated this form. Like,
breaking news for parent hates kids.
Yeah, well, not all kids, just this particular form. And this kid came up to me and he goes, "Yeah, Mr. Parents will beat you." And I literally turned back to him in front of all his friends and went, "I don't even know who you are." I knew who he was, but I knew me putting him down and not acknowledging his existence hurt him. And it really did hurt him. Like, and all his friends were like, oh, you just got done by parents. All it took was just me to say, "I don't even know who you are." And it's amazing what that does to a psyche of, like the Giant. Oh, not the Giant. Who was it? Was it a Giants player that went into him?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep, I know him.
He literally just goes straight into him. "Yeah, that's what I'll do." And Aaron was just like, "I'm Super Bowl winning multi-MVP, future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know who you are. Like, you're not even on my wave. Congratulations. You hit me after I got rid of the ball. Like, it's well done, you." It's yeah. I love it. I want to see him mic'd up every week, and we just listen to Aaron Rodgers.
I tell you what, Hard Knocks. You know, we're all they're only doing it because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Let's not kid
But-
ourselves. They
But,
are.
oh my God, how good has Hard Knocks been this season?
I'm
How
loving
good is
it.
How good is it seeing Aaron Rodgers and seeing what he's like? And not only that, he seems to know every single player in the bloody league
Yeah, I know. And coaches.
and bloody umpires. All right, Carl, how you doing, Carl? Yeah, it's like okay.
Yeah, it's like, how's the family?
It's been
I love
brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And that one coach has got 6 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Guys,
love
obviously
how
I've
in
missed a
the
couple of weeks
episode
of preseason. Knock yourselves out.
there was just Salah's kid there, just playing catch with Aaron Rodgers.
You went to do that high five thing and punch him in the
Yeah.
gob.
Yeah.
How it needs to be. Yeah, it's brilliant. Hit me through preseason then, guys, and then we'll throw some stats about the cut day. Hit me through preseason.
Whoa, winners and losers.
Yeah. Should we do our winners first around the table, then we'll do our losers, or do you want to
Go
do...
on then. Let's
All right,
hit it.
all right. We've already mentioned him first, but Aaron Rodgers this offseason made his first return in preseason for 5 years. Let's not forget, he hasn't done preseason with the Packers for 5 years prior to him joining the Jets. He has reinvented himself, it seems to be, and it looks like he's going to have a great season with the Jets. So that's who I've put as one of my winners in the NFL. Are we doing all ours, or we're going to do one each?
We'll go around.
Should we do one each? So, Phil, I know you have one similar to me, but I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers starting offense as
I've gone Kenny
one of my
Pickett.
winners because in every drive they have had, it has ended in a touchdown.
Yeah, Kenny
And
Pickett finished the preseason with 158.3 as a QB rating, like perfect.
Honestly, I'm worried for next week for the Niners.
Yeah,
Whee.
yeah, I am.
Shano?
My loser of preseason is Jim Irsay. As I said, I think he dropped the ball tremendously on this one. As far as teams go, obviously, losers, I will regrettably say my beloved Baltimore Ravens. The streak
Oh, you're on a
is
2-0
over.
win streak at the moment. Oh.
I haven't finished. The Washington Commanders did indeed play the Brock Lesnar role of breaking the streak. And in all honesty, as much as I hate to say it, and it boils my blood to say it, Ollie's right. The Steelers have been brilliant in preseason. Fair play. They played really well. And this may be starting as they mean to go on into the actual season itself.
I can be that.
I have a winner that is probably going. Well, I'm going to put a winner and a loser together. If I say the loser is Jimmy Garoppolo, who do you think my winner is?
The Niners.
Vegas.
Niners.
Aiden O'Connor.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Preseason has been outstanding. He's won the highest quarterback ratings in the league in preseason. You know, pocket movement is absolutely brilliant. He's not fancy. He's not, I'm going to run around and do all this. He's got very subtle pocket movements, move around the pocket really, really nicely, and always finds his targets. You know, went through, I think I've always said, he was 42 from 56 passes. His stats have been absolutely brilliant. And, you know, how long is it till the Vegas fans start calling for him to be starter over Jimmy?
Before the bye week.
Well, while we're talking about relatively unknown quarterbacks that are winners, I know we mentioned him earlier, but I want to put Clayton Tune as a winner because he's gone from being relatively unknown to some people thinking he could start week 1. They released Colt McCoy for some reason that nobody really understands.
Tank!
Yes. Then they traded for Josh Downs, but there is a genuine consensus that some people think that Clayton Tune, who I think was a 5th or 6th round pick this year, could start for the Arizona Cardinals. And I really hope it happens. So I think he's a winner of the offseason on preseason.
I'm just trying to find their depth chart. Phil, next.
My loser. Not my loser. Sorry, I'm gonna do a winner here for a second. Lou Headley. Now, gents, do you know the story of Lou Headley?
No.
No. All right.
Go on.
He is the oldest rookie in the NFL this season. He is 30. He hails from Perth, Australia. He dropped out of high school
Oh, I know this
and
guy.
was working in scaffolding for a few years. He then owned a tattoo parlor, just purely so he can get covered in tattoos. He then going to like the university in Perth, was doing like Aussie rules football, where he discovered that he was quite good at kicking, and then he found himself onto the team of the Miami Hurricanes, who, by the way, Shano, do you know what number he wore when he was playing for the Hurricanes?
Go on.
He was wearing his idol's jersey, number 94, The Rock, because he,
Gonna
like us,
say.
grew up watching WWF, and he recalled that one of his favorite wrestle moments was watching The Rock deliver 2 rock bottoms to Hulk Hogan and a people's elbow at WrestleMania 18. He is averaging over
Can I interrupt you with
45
some
yards
breaking news?
per punt in preseason. Oh, okay.
Ollie has some breaking news.
Not massive, but it's just
Yeah,
come
go.
through to me from Kelly that the Patriots have claimed Matt Corral off waivers. So the quarterback from quarterback Ole Miss.
Because Zappi's had a poor camp, correct?
Zappi has been outstandingly poor. Right. I was watching my fellow Patriots podcast on their show. Quite enjoying it. They did a quiz on that, and to be fair, it was quite good. And they broke during that, and my comment was, yes! I am almost as much anti-Zappi as I am anti-Tua. Actually, no, that's the other way around. I think I'm more anti-Zappi than I am anti-Tua, probably because of the Patriot fans who
Really?
want
Because you're very anti-Tua, so I think...
Right. Yeah, Zappi was outstandingly poor. He is my big loser for it, because he should have been pushing Mac all the way. This was his chance to go, I'm going to be QB1, not Mac. And yeah, he blew his chance. Absolutely blew his chance. But yeah. Sorry, carry on, Mr. Perrins.
So he found himself onto the New Orleans Saints roster, and it's just such a great story because he's the oldest rookie in the NFL at 30. He's not even an American national. He's had such a unique life right up until that point. I mean, he looks like, when you think of punters and kickers on the team, when you're thinking of like fighting, like if you're gonna like have a little bit of skirmishes, you often kind of like pick on the punters and the kickers because they look like the weakest. But like, how often do you see a team where the punter looks the most devastating on your team?
John just come in saying, I would go as far as saying that Ollie hates Tua more than Phil hates Cleveland.
I don't hate Cleveland. I just hate Deshaun Watson. But
yeah.
that's. I mean, I'm really sorry that Ollie has a problem with Tua, whilst I have problems with sexual offenders. I'm just saying. It's on the same level, but I could totally see why you would think that.
Just out of interest, Phil, do you know the only other team that have an Aussie punter?
No. Who?
Oh my God.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Oh my God.
You see the Niners, I'm going home.
Mitch Wachowski.
Mitch Wachowski is
Seriously, you did not know your own team's.
Wait. I just
oh,
mate,
like I am.
Or like something like.
And you call yourself a 49ers fan. Oh my God.
Wait. Let me have a look at Mitch Wachowski. Hold on. Oh my God.
Call yourself a broadcast journalist.
Wait, what is this like? What is this? Oh, he's 31 as well, so he's getting on a bit. So like he's oh my God, he's the same age as me. All right, so yeah.
Just outed Phil live on air.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Don't say that. You can think of someone else, guaranteed.
I'm trying to see when he moved over to America.
Let's not worry about this. Let's move on to.
Can I say my other loser?
Yeah, go on then.
My other loser is Kyle Trask because he lost out to Baker Mayfield in an open competition.
From what I've heard, though, Baker Mayfield's been really good.
Yeah, but
Mayfield's had a solid training camp.
He's still Baker Mayfield, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll give you that one. But apparently he's had a solid training camp. I've got 2 more winners. Shano, do you have any more, my friend?
I do. Yes, I do. I've got a loser for this week. The very recent Super Bowl champion LA Rams
Oh, they've been
conceded 41 points against Ben DiNucci and the Broncos, and he didn't even get a point in a practice game. How bad is that?
I think Ben DiNucci.
I mean, they also got out-drived as well because the Broncos drove for 494 yards to the Rams 159.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget that the team that the Broncos put out, a lot of those were cut. Like, they're not first and second stringers. Those are players that were looking to.
So did Ben DiNucci. He also got cut.
Can somebody remind me? On Christmas Day, the Rams played the Broncos. I know one team thrashed the other, but I can't remember which team won.
Broncos got their pants pulled down.
Yeah, and then now the Broncos have thrashed the Rams.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's a crazy how the NFL works, isn't it? Yeah, it's preseason for you, but
and my winner again for week 3 was Mike Tomlin and then fucking lot again. They shut out the Falcons 24-0. So yeah, well done and fuck off.
I think there's probably going to be the biggest winner of this season going. He's the reigning offensive rookie champion of the year. Who played with 3 quarterbacks last year that probably aren't anywhere near.
The team that was ranked the 32nd for quarterback last year.
Yeah. Who are, Garrett Wilson, you can already see that connection that him and a certain future Hall of Famer, has already in New York, and it's going to be incredibly scary. And he also wears number 17. Garrett Wilson is going to be ridiculously good.
I mean, just look at Hard Knocks last week. I think it was Mark Sanchez just goes up to Aaron Rodgers and saying, "What do you think of Garrett Wilson?" And he's just like, "That kid's special."
He is incredible.
The way he gets out his breaks so quickly. That kid is special.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how good. It really is how good that connection is. Going to be scary. I mean. Yes, he's brought in Randall Cobb. Yes, he's brought in Alan Lazard. And Garrett Wilson has said, I've had to lean on those 2 guys to understand Rodgers' lingo and how he calls things.
Just out of interest, did anyone see that massive Randall Cobb blindside hit last week?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Apparently they show on Hard Knocks tonight. It was massive.
Hard Knocks on tonight. Oh,
yes,
it's
on Sky Sports now.
Oh, of course, they've changed it, haven't they? Yeah, they've changed the channel, so it'll mess up my recording. So, yesterday, there was 1,184 players cut. 1,184 players didn't have a clue what they're saying. There's a Raiders player who's been through this several times. His name is Isaiah Roshea. I just want to share a quick video. It's about 35 seconds. It's a bit of an experience. He was sat in his car while he did this video.
Sitting in my car because I just got released by the Raiders. There's a lot of different scenarios that happen after you get released, but basically I'm just going to see how everything shakes out.
And then it does
when you get released.
Really annoying.
Sitting in my car because I just got released by the Raiders. There's a lot of different scenarios that happen.
Okay, so we're having issues loading videos. Great. I'll share it on a thing. But basically, he's just gone like, I've just been cut. I have now got no idea what I'm doing for the next 24 hours. I've got to wait for other teams to literally go if they want me or not, and then if I'm going to come back to the practice squad. Him and his wife have then got to work out what's best for him, what's best for them going for the future. Ironically for him, he's been brought back by the Raiders. They brought him back onto his practice squad. But we talk about how these players, TJ Hawkinson's just signed a massive new deal. We'll get to that in a bit. But we don't think about these players who are literally had their livelihood ripped out from under them. And we've seen we'll see more of it on Hard Knocks tonight because I'm going a bit into more on Hard Knocks this week. I'm guessing about how players are cut and how they're going right. We'll cut you. Go and see XYZ. They'll sort with you. Sometimes they say right. Ideally, we want to bring you back to the practice squad, but you might end up XYZ. It is horrible for these guys. It really is. I mean, they have no idea what is going to happen for them. And just have this almost the rug pulled from under them. It's scary. As the complete silence of shocked.
I was going to say, welcome to being a pro athlete. It's very much feast or famine. Sometimes if you're a superstar like TJ Hawkinson, you're going to get your $1 million contract, $1 million signing bonus. If you're not a superstar, you can be passed around, like a bag of Werther's Originals. And then when they're all gone, that's your lot.
I'm not sure if you've seen this, but this is actually about the Ravens, Shane. It's been going around on social media, the video where Zay Flowers has to state his name, the college he went for, his signing bonus. And then the signing bonus comes out of 7 million. OBJ falls on the floor. Everyone goes mad. So he says he's like, Zay Flowers, Boston College signing bonus was 7 million. OBJ falls on the floor. Everyone's going, oh! I'm not sure if you've seen that.
I saw in the week. I'm so excited to watch Zay Flowers. I really am.
And I don't want to sound heartless or anything like this, but you do forget that they do get 80K for turning up to training camp.
Oh, no, I do. But as you know, they get, right, that is it. That's their 80 grand. They get paid for their playing time. So they'll get paid from whenever they start going to training camps, OTAs and all that, they'll get paid. But when the season stops in February, they don't get paid until they're back in the NFL, until they're back in the facilities, in the buildings. That's why they don't get paid. They don't get paid for voluntary OTAs or voluntary TAs. They only get paid from, I think I read, from July. So from February to July, they don't get paid. Yes, they get some superstars like Burrows and Allen and Mahomes get paid millions and millions of pounds so they can spread it out. But a lot of these players who get, say, these rookie kickers who in the 7th round will probably get 100, like I say, only 100 grand. They've got to learn how to budget that over the year. And these rookies, kids, hey, money, gone, bang.
Yeah.
That's why probably there's a lot of reason why there's a lot of crime in the NFL with people with guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's come out recently again about Ocho Cinco, about like he saved 8% of his NFL salary throughout his entire team, throughout his entire time in the league because he lived on site, like he was living in dorms, in training facilities, and in the stadium. He literally brought fake jewelry for when he went out. All his cars were rentals. Like he saved so much of his money to the point where he doesn't need to do anything. Like he doesn't need to invest. He doesn't need to get a side job. He doesn't need to do a side hustle. He did exactly the right thing because he came from nothing and realized he didn't want to go back to nothing once he finished. I always remember as well, and this is going to be like an NFL name because I remember it when it was on Hard Knocks years ago, so you can tell how long this is. Did any of you remember the wide receiver / kick return specialist, Dane Sanzenbacher? No?
Yeah.
I'll say I do.
Okay, so he bounced around the practice squads of the Bengals and the Saints. Now, he was a massively undersized wide receiver, very capable, very good hands, but he was very small. And so he literally, I mean, he only really had, I think it was like a 4-year NFL career. And I remember him on Hard Knocks. I remember what he said about he had to do the best that he could on the field to maintain him still having a job, not being a player, not being in the starting squad, not being, on, the starting offense or starting kick returns or on special teams. He had to do what he had to keep a job. I mean, it was the same off the field as well. Like whatever money that he had, he knew that he had to put some away, but also stretch as much as is humanly possible. So the point when he finished in the NFL, because he played from 2011 when he got drafted by the Bears. Well, I don't think he even got drafted by the Bears. I think they picked him up on a free. And to when he finished with the Bengals in 2014, and now he has a job working for CBS in his hometown. So being very, very mindful and careful. And we do know like the NFL do have a lot of things with rookie players where they talk about mindful of their money, managing their first contract, especially that rookie deal, which if you're drafted like in the first round or like a top 10 pick, you're going to get a really good contract. But if you're like a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh undrafted player, you're not going to be on a lot of money. And you get, as you said before, you get paid it all up front. So you need to make sure that lasts the entire playing of that season. So yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it? Especially, I guess it's just like the cutthroatness of any professional sports. Like when you're in your moment in the sun, it's the most amazing feeling in the world. But when you're cut, you go, well, where do I go next? What do I do? All I've ever known is this. And we see this in like our schools as well, like especially back into this country where so many players, so many young lads get put into like academies, get promised the world to the point where their school, grades and their school education drops. I'm not using you as an example, Ollie, but you went through that system where, you see a lot of, I've taught a lot of boys where they've gone, I don't need this because I'm going to go and play football. And there's a lad that I taught a couple of years ago that he didn't have that mentality, but like, it was kind of like, well, I know I'm going to go and play, I don't want to say the team, but the team that's in the city where I kind of live. And then he left school. It didn't work out for him there. He then went down to lower leagues. It didn't work out there. And now he's playing Sunday league semi-pro football again, like our football. So he's gone from thinking he's going to be a superstar to, oh my God, what do I need to do now? And he's only 19. So, and just think about like all the NFL players that have gone through college, get their first contract, the ones that get cut, the ones that don't get a second contract, the ones that get released, and they're just waiting for other people to decide their life. Like they're in the lap of the gods, aren't they?
Yeah. Shite.
I mean, do you honestly think, going back onto this, Ollie, that Brock Purdy genuinely thought he was going to get picked? Like being Mr. Irrelevant and going, oh, I'm not going to get picked in this draft, and then he gets the last pick, and then he goes into the offseason going, oh man, I'm going to be behind Trey Lance, who is number one, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Or the best thing I can hope for is third place. Because you said last year you didn't think he was going to be on the team.
I said he wouldn't get past week 1 of training camp. But apparently he got called at the start of the 7th round, and John Lynch was like, yeah, we're going to pick you.
Oh, good for him. I do reckon though he must have been sitting there going, oh, I'm not going to be picked. I'm going to be undrafted. I'm going to have to wait for a phone call over the next couple of weeks.
Anyway, we need to move on to Hawkinson because we've been talking for way too long already, and we've still got two things to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back.
We can miss some of them if needs be. Yeah, it's fine.
No, I think the other thing we need to talk about.
Go on then. Highest paid quarterback, highest paid tight end in the league. 4-year deal worth $68.5 million, guaranteed $42.5.
I think they've overpaid. He's not in the upper echelon of tight end. Like, I think there's tier 1, which is like Kittle, Kelsey, and potentially Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you said
and
Andrews.
then there's the tier below that, which I feel like Hawkinson's in.
He is very much upper mid card, not main event,
brother.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
I do generally think this guy has all the skill sets, all the capabilities. Now he's in a good offense. Not saying Detroit was a bad offense, because last season they showed it. His rookie season, this guy was outstanding. Outstanding. He's probably one of the best players, probably one of the best rookies of that year.
I was very high on Hawkinson coming out.
I drafted him into my team in the fantasy. I picked him up in my team.
Yeah, I told my friend to bring him in on waivers. I'm not sure if Jack's watching, but if Jack is, he will vouch for that.
Yeah, then he had a couple of poor seasons, but then so did Detroit. I was so shocked that Detroit traded him last year, especially to a divisional rival.
Ollie, can I just
and he went
quickly,
better and better and better.
Because John's come in with a question saying, how is there such a pay gap between tight ends and running backs? I appreciate they're different, but by that much.
Tight end, right. I think running backs have a very, very short career. How many running backs in the recent times have had a second big second contract and literally flunked?
Yeah.
Jay Ajayi is one of them.
Yep.
Zeke.
There's just two. Tight ends, they're an extension to the O-line. You know, they are very important in receiving game, run game. They run protections.
Yeah.
You know, they do so much. Do I think running backs get underpaid in there for their uses? Fuck yes.
I also think tight ends get paid. Good tight ends get paid a premium because there's less of them.
Yeah.
Because like if you want a running back, you could probably go and draft a good one next year in the first round.
Yeah. You could probably pick 10 up. You could probably, like, honestly, you could probably pick 10 up. Well, 3 through the actual draft and the rest through like free agency. Eddie Lacy, I've just remembered, was the one I was thinking of last week when we were talking about it, the Green Bay Packers running back. He had an insane season, got that fat contract, put on a ton of weight, and I think 2 years later he was out the league.
But if you look at tight ends, the only top ones out of this draft are probably Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid. That's 2.
Oh, I don't know. I think the tight end that Shane absolutely loves pronouncing his name.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. But what I'm trying to say is, good tight ends get paid a premium because there's less of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to read. I've got the Arizona depth chart because we obviously talk about them. Joshua Dobbs is currently QB2 according to ESPN.
So who's QB1? Murray.
Kyler. Yeah. So I'm going to read the 4 tight ends that Arizona are on their depth chart. Zach Ertz.
Can I guess them? Zach Ertz.
Yep.
Is Andy Isabella cast as a tight end or is he down as a wide receiver?
Who?
Isabella.
He is not even on there. Must be cut.
Okay. I can't think of the didn't they get a rookie last year?
Trey McBride, Jeff Swan, and Elijah Higgins. How many of those are actually household names? How many of those can go? Exactly. Trey McBride, yes, he's in his second year. Okay, yes, New England are famous running a dual tight end. Yes, we got Zakeen. Yes, we got Hunter Henry. How many teams have 2 studded star tight ends? Most have 1.
Yeah.
You know, and it is.
I think some have none.
Yeah, they probably just have tight ends. I mean, LA Rams don't really have a household name tight end.
I'm blanking on his name right now, but I know they have a decent tight end.
You have literally just proved my point.
Tyler
Higbee. Yeah, but I wouldn't class him as a household name. I wouldn't class him as that type of tight end. I'm not saying Hunter Henry and Gesicki are up there with Kittle, Gronk, Andrews, that standard tight end, but they are a known name. There isn't many tight ends out there. As Ollie said, only 2 or 3 really classy ones came into the draft this year. That's the problem. Next bit of news, Mr. Hope. Switch the barrier, hand it over.
The first 3 weeks of the games that will be shown on Sky have been announced.
I'm really angry. I'm really angry with this.
Why? Because the Jets are on all 3 weeks.
No, because I'd rather see Patriots against Eagles in week 1, where Brady has been indicted into the Hall of Fame, into the Ring of Fame of New England, and then the Jets.
But they picked the Niners against the Steelers instead.
That's going to be a big game, though, Ollie. Let's be honest. It's a big game.
Yeah, we're against the Patriots. Yeah, we got the Jets. It's Aaron Rodgers. You know, Aaron Rodgers got a really difficult start in New York.
I'd just like to point out that the Jets are primetime week 1 and then being shown week 2 and 3. And as John says, the Rodgers effect.
I was just about to exactly say those exact words or something to that.
I mean, wasn't something similar last year with Denver being gone quite a lot, and it was like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So who'd have thought? And Tom Brady before then, like let's not be shocked. that big quarterback moves are going to cause big TV ratings in America, and especially over here as well, because it's not just like the names, it's also the fandom that brings it. We see over here with the Messi and Ronaldo kind of like fandom. Happens in the NFL as well. What's Russell Wilson going to be doing? What's Rodgers going to be doing? What's Brady going to be doing?
For audio listeners, I will just run through the games. So the 6 p.m. game week 1 is Niners at Steelers, and the 9:25 game is Dolphins at Chargers. For week 2, the 6 p.m. games is Chiefs at Jaguars, and the 9:25 game is Cowboys at Jets. And week 3, the 6 p.m. game is Jets at Patriots, and 9:25 Bears at Chiefs. And these will all be on Sky Sports NFL and potentially Sky Sports Main Event.
Can I quickly ask a very quick question before we sign off for the night?
Please.
Aaron Rodgers' first 6 games is home to Buffalo against Josh Allen, away to Dallas against probably Dak Prescott, home to New England against probably it's going to be Mac, home against Kansas City Chiefs against Mahomes, away against Russell Wilson's Denver Broncos, and then he's got home against Hurts Eagles. Out of those 6 games, how many wins do you reckon New York are going to get? I'm going to say, I reckon they're going to go 3-3.
Oh, I've got 3. 3-3.
3-3. Shano?
Sorry, but I completely missed all that. We got dogs going fucking mental around you.
Oh,
sorry, but what was that?
Aaron Rodgers' first 6 starts in for New York. Home to Bills, away to Cowboys, home to Patriots, and home to Chiefs, away to Raiders, and home to Eagles. How many wins do you reckon they're going to get?
In all honesty, the way we've seen them in preseason and the way they look on Hard Knocks now, I'd say 4 easily.
I agree with Ollie. I think it's 3. I really do think it's 3 on that one.
I can see them beating you guys. I can see them beating the Raiders, and I can see them getting one other win.
Yeah, I mean, New England don't really get going until week 4 anyway, so yeah, that would be a surprise. Before I do fully sign off, I wanted to pass on our prayers and thoughts, hopes to the guys in the path of Storm Ida. So Carolina, Georgia, and Florida are quite badly hit at the moment.
Yeah. I saw the Florida Gators, who are playing tonight in Utah, had to change their travel plans for it. Obviously, there are people that have been hit a lot worse than that.
Yeah, they reckon there's roughly 140 houses trashed in Florida and 178 in the Carolinas and Georgia area.
John said, I'd be more concerned with the defense giving up points than Rodgers being successful when talking about the Jets.
That makes sense. Makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, our thoughts and prayers are with them. Please stay safe out there if you are traveling out there. And if you are living out there, please be careful. We know how dangerous Mother Nature can be.
I was going to say before, could we sign off on something a bit more positive?
Knock yourself out.
If the listeners on Spotify and viewers on YouTube want to scroll to YouTube, and obviously after watching the latest episode of the Third and Long podcast, just scroll to the NFL page, and you will see game previews for week 1. That's how close we are.
7 days.
7 days.
Next week, the full-on return of predictions will be back. Shano, Phil being the defending champion.
That's true. I've just realised you changed my name to a fake 49. Look, I can't help being the reigning, defending predictions champion of the Third and Long pod. By the way, are we doing our draft live next week?
We will.
Undecided.
I think we should do it live.
Put a pin in that, maybe.
Look, it's in the middle of the school week, right? I'm not going to get drunk, but I will have a couple of cans of Pepsi Phil's favourite, Pepsi Max.
Pepsi Phil.
I'm just going to have such a great time during the because I've already been reading up. I've got my preferred picks. I know exactly who I want in the draft. I think we should do it live. It'll be fun.
I did just want to say that if those who are in our fantasy league, and there is one space free, so
I may have someone to fill that space.
We should do a competition.
A
competition, and the person that wins gets to come in.
It is at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, and
it's £100 buy-in.
Apparently, it's a £0 buy-in, And apparently we will be streaming it live like we did last year.
I think we should do it live.
Apparently so. Sound.
Cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast. I've enjoyed my first episode back after studying myself. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back no matter what next Thursday for our first season preview show. Oh my God, I can't believe we're saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night for tuning in, watching, listening on Spotify, however you listen to us. We are definitely indebted to you. Get my words right. Ladies and gentlemen, good night and stay safe.